Hello everyone. In a previous video we have learned how to create local account and we had explained what is the purpose of it. Now also we need to manage the account which we will use it here to administrate the SQL Server database. Now we can use a domain admin account, there is no problem with that. But what if I need to have more than one admin using their own accounts or the domain admin? I don't want each time to jump to the database and modify the list who's admin, who's not, remove the old admin, etc. Instead, my plan is to create a domain SQL admin account or group and then add accounts which I want to that group. I'll give permission to the group to access as an admin to the SQL Server database, and later it is easy. Any new member I wanted to become an administrator of SQL database, all what I needed in my Active Directory in Victoria DC1, just add that account as a member of SQL admin group. So we need now to manage it in Victoria DC1, and I need also to take in consideration on which OU do I need to create this group, and also I need to take in consideration the effect of the group policy. Let us discuss it. We need to access first to the domain controller. And in domain controller for now, let us see the following. Look guys, now currently as you know this is my group policy, and in group policy I have the following policies, these two attached to the root and this one attached to the database. Now the question is, where do you want to create your account or your group account? Access to Active Directory database. You might suggest, because here we have a database OU, so maybe inside that OU create sub OU, and the sub OU inside it you will create accounts for users and groups. Of course, users and groups who you want them to become as an administrator to be able to manage the SQL database. And this is not a good suggestion, because in that case you'll have a problem with the policy. As you know, the policy by default is inherited by the child, and here if you create a sub OU inside the database, then the policy which you have it in here is going to affect not only the computer which is in database, which is currently the SQL box, but is going to be inherited and affect any object inside that database OU, regardless that object is a group or is a user. Even if it is sub OU, then it's going to affect them by inheritance. You might say, fine, I can create sub OU and then I can block the effect of SQL firewall policy on sub OU. The suggestion is like this. We access to database here and we create OU inside it. Let us call it SQL admins. Now I have SQL admins. If I refresh now my policy, the GPO, I have now this SQL admins. SQL admins are going to inherit now the influence of SQL firewall policy attached to the parent. If I want now to block SQL firewall, then I would right click on the SQL admins and select block inheritance. By this, SQL not going to be affected by SQL firewall, but now I need to enforce the default domain policy and root CA. Because SQL admins, I want them to inherit the effect of these policies. So in that case, I need to right click, enforce, default, and root. So this is one of the technique which you can follow, which I don't prefer it. Because maybe in the future you have here another policy, you might need to enforce it here, you don't need to enforce it there, you want to block it here. So later when you'll have maybe 100 of these OUs, if you follow this technique, it might be a bit difficult to apply all what you need, and then you need to rearrange your Active Directory. So what is the other options? Let us see. I would right click first, no block inheritance, and no need for enforce of the root and for the default policy. The SQL admin, I will delete it from here because it is protected. So from a view with advanced features, we can access now to the database SQL properties, and in object protect, no need for protection, and delete. So we just delete it. There we are. And again, in a view, there is no need for advanced features anymore. For me, what I prefer, just to create your SQL admin group directly on the root for the purpose of this scenario. So I have a new organizational unit, call it SQL admins. This is your OU. And inside this OU now add your accounts and groups. So I start by the creation of the group, create a new group. And the group is the global security. I will call it SQLT admins. And for SQLD admins, currently I will add only one member, and the member is our administrator. So add, type just admin, check names, administrator. So our domain admin now is a member of this group. And now through the installation of the SQL instance, I will add the SQL admins group plus the SQL admin local account. So now in the domain, whenever I want for anyone to become an admin for SQL database, I just need to make it a member of this SQLD admins group. By this now we are ready to continue with the installation of SQL database. We will do that in the next video. Thanks for watching.